Hello, so today's tutorial is going to be on my sunflower wall hanging. This is one that I completed a long time ago that I added feathers to the bottom, so it looks sort of like a dream catcher. But today I'm just going to be showing you how to make the sunflower, make the detail and attach it to a hoop. So let's get started. To make this pattern I'm using 3 colours of double knit yarn, a 4mm hook and a 20cm hoop. All of these things I will link below for easy access for you. So let's get started. So to start with, you can either chain 4 and create a loop or do a magic circle. I'm going to do the magic circle, double one. And we are going to chain 2. We're now going to, this counts as the first stitch, we are now going to do 15 UK trebles or US doubles into the magic ring. So if we count our chain, that is 16 stitches total. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to continue around until I've done 16 stitches, and I shall get back to you when I get to here. So I have 16 stitches. I'm just going to slip stitch into that first one there and then chain 2. I'm now going to do a UK treble or US double back into that same space. So there's 2 in there, and then I'm going to put 2 stitches into every stitch around. So that will give us 32 stitches total all the way around. So I shall continue around with that and catch up with you once I've done all 32 stitches. So I have 32 stitches all the way around. I'm just going to cut, weave in my ends and get my next colour. Okay, so I have my next colour ready to go. I'm going to pop it into one of the stitches. Just secure that on. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to UK treble or US double into the same stitch. That counts as 2 stitches into there. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to, in the next stitch along, do 2 UK trebles or US doubles into that same space. So that looks like this. So now I'm going to skip 2 stitches and do a UK treble US double into the 3rd stitch along. And we're basically repeating this pattern again. So 2 into the same, chain 3, 2, 3, and then in the next stitch along 2. Oops. I always find the stitch right after a chain tricky. I wonder if you ever have that trouble. Let me know in the comments. I'm not the only one. So we've done our next little group with the chain between. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and put 2 trebles into there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in the next stitch along 2 trebles. And continue the pattern around. So skip 2 and then start another little group like this. And I shall get back to you when we're back there. So I've made it round to the other side. You should have 8 of these chain spaces all the way around, and this is where our petal is going to go. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that first stitch there to close my circle, and I'm going to start straight into this chain space here, yarn over and do a UK treble, US double. We're going to do 5 of those into this chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to shuffle those up because we need room to fit 5 more into there. And then we're going to do a picot stitch, which just helps create the pointy bit at the top of the petal. So to do that, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work back into the top of this last stitch you had here, so into the post there like that, and then slip stitch into your chain, and that creates a little bobble on top. And now we're going to do 5 more UK trebles or US doubles into that same chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, that's created a pretty petal shape. So next we're going to work in between these two. We're just going to do a slip stitch in there like that, and we're going to start our next petal. So it's yarn over, UK treble, US double. We're doing 5 of those in there. 3, 4, 5. Shuffle them up a little bit. So I haven't got my yarn bowl, it's downstairs and I'm being far too lazy to go and get it. So my yarn's rolling around all over the place. We're now going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're working back into the top of the last stitch, into those 2 posts there. Pull that through and do a slip stitch, and then 5 more into that chain space. 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into that next little space there, and you're ready for your next petal. So I'm going to continue around and do all 8 petals, and I shall come back and meet you here. So I've made it to the last petal. I'm just going to do my last slip stitch into the space between those 2, and then I'm going to cut and weave in my ends, and that's the end of the flower part. Okay, so it's time to attach our next colour. So we're going to attach it into one of the picot stitches, so one of the points of the petals. Just want to attach your colour there, and then we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to be doing a UK double treble or a US treble. So that means yarn over twice, and we're going into the space between the petals. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. It should look like this. I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the petal. You have now joined those 2 petals with a stitch in between. So we'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, a double treble or a treble, so that's yarn over twice, in between the petals, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the next one. So continue that around until you get back to here, and we'll join up and start the next round. So this is how it's looking. I've made it round to the other side, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain space there. That has closed that. Now I'm going to chain 2. This counts as our first stitch, and I'm going to do 4 UK trebles or US doubles into this chain space. So if we count our chain, that is 5 stitches total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do 5 into each one all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5. So between each petal there's actually 10 stitches. So 5, you have your pointy one in the middle, and then 5 all the way around. So that would give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 stitches total. So when we've done 80 stitches, I'll get back to you. So this is how it's looking with the 80 stitches around. I'm just going to slip stitch into that first chain to close, and the slip stitch counts as the first stitch of the next round. So into the next stitch we're going to do a UK double or US single stitch. In the next stitch we're going to yarn over and do a half double or a half treble. Next stitch we're doing a UK treble or a US double, so they're getting gradually longer each stitch. And then in this last stitch we're doing a UK double treble or a US treble. So we yarn over twice, and that creates this little triangle shape. Now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to reverse what we just did. So we're doing a double treble or a treble into the next stitch. One, 2, 3, and now a treble or a double into the next. Yarn over, we're doing a half treble or a half double into there, a single or a double, and a slip stitch, and that creates this shape. So we're going to do that again. So the next one is a slip stitch. I'm going to just use US terms now because it gets a bit tongue-tie and US terms make more sense. So slip stitch, single crochet, half double, double, treble, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, treble, double, half double, single, and slip stitch. So continue that around and you will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 of these points. So I've made it all the way around. I've done my last slip stitch in there. I'm going to cut and weave in my ends. So that is that part complete. Now we're going to attach it to our hoop. So for this I'm going to use the same colour green because I like it to match, but you can use whichever colour you prefer. We're going to simply take our yarn and put it over our ring like so. I'm getting all tangled. And we're going to do a UK double or US single crochet stitch around the hoop, and we're going to do 20 of these. So I'm going to continue doing this off camera because it's actually quite tricky to do it at this angle. It's much easier for me to do it closer to me, away from the camera. So I'm going to do 20 and I'll come back to you when I've done those. I've done 20, that's how it's looking, and I'm just going to do another one with the mandala attached. Now I'm going to go around the hoop and do another 20 until I get to there, and then add another one. This is much easier closer to me, so I'm going to carry on and do another 20 stitches around the hoop, and I shall show you attaching the next one. So I've completed another 20. Now I'm going to go along to the next chain space and attach that on with a stitch. So we're just going to repeat this all the way around. I shall show you about halfway how it's looking. So it's 20 stitches around the hoop with 1 to attach, 21, 21. All the way around. I have one more point to go. I need to do 20 more stitches, and then what I'm going to do is just adjust them slightly so they're all evenly spaced all the way around, and that will be that complete. I shall come back to you when I get to there because we're going to need to make a loop. So I shall be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm attaching the very last one. I'm going to just slip stitch into the top of the first stitch we made to make that secure. And then I'm going to chain 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then I'm going to slip stitch back into that same space, and then I'm going to cut and weave in my ends. So I shall give that a snip and show you how it's looking. So here she is, the final piece. Now you can add tassels to this, or like I did with my previous one, I actually added feathers to the bottom of this one, or anything you like, or you can just leave it as it is. They look really cute hanging on the wall. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really love this one. I had a lot of fun coming up with this pattern to make this fit. There was a lot of frogging, but once I got it I was really pleased. So I hope you guys like it too. I've linked below the written PDF version of this pattern if you'd like to purchase that, and everything I've used is also linked below with affiliate links, so that could help me out too if you decide to get any of those things. So thanks for following, and I shall see you again soon, guys. Have a lovely day.